Netminder early and often. Rob Zepp gets his first National League start. 33 years of age. You can see his numbers with the Phantoms. Has played very well down in the minors. And Ondrej Pavelec, the #1 netminder for the Winnipeg Jets, who's got some competition this year from Michael Hutchinson. You see the 10 wins and 8 losses, 4 ties for Ondrej Pavelec, and the Flyers will try to get on him early as well and try to get some of that offensive pressure they had against Jonathan Bernier last night.
So after 6 years in Germany, a couple years in Finland, some minor league time, it's time for the NHL debut of Rob Zepp, and he is ready, and the puck is down, and so we are underway. The road whites for the Flyers, dark home uniforms for the Jets, who send a shot right on Zepp right off the bat as Blake Wheeler makes a save. Another save. Wheeler gets it again, and he backhands it wide. So much for working his way into this one as Zepp sees some immediate pressure. Puck back to the point. Byfuglien, Dustin Byfuglien playing defense again, gets it down low. Brian Little centering it in front, and it hopped over the stick of Wheeler and back out to the point. Another flip shot from there is blocked off by Coburn, and he will backhand, but is flagged down by Blake Wheeler. He's knocked down by Giroux, but the puck is kept in. And the defenseman Ben Chiarot will send it across ice. And the Flyers get to the puck and now move ahead. Now have a 2-on-1. It's Giroux and Voracek. Giroux with the puck. He holds back to Voracek. The shot. He scores! They pick up where they left off last night. Giroux and Voracek teaming on the first goal of this one. Voracek scores for a case of Tasty Cake. It's 1-0 Philadelphia.
Well, no surprises here. Winnipeg starts quick, gets 2 shots in the first few seconds of the game, and the 2 superstars of the Philadelphia Flyers go to work in a 2-on-1. Beautiful pass from Giroux. Saucer lands right on the tape with Jake Voracek, and Voracek quickly fires it to the back of the net.
Only a handful of guys can make that pass, guys, and finish on it as well. Voracek finding the 5-hole. You know what? Winnipeg really aggressive in the offensive zone. They had a great start. A little too overly aggressive. Cost them that 2-on-1. 1-0 Flyers. What a great play.
Voracek picks up his 200th point as a Flyer. Does so in style on a beautiful 2-on-1. Zepp will cover up the puck here. You look at the Winnipeg combinations at the top of your screen.
Rob Zepp with an alert play there to smother that puck. There's Jake Voracek on the bench after the 4-assist night. He decides to pop an early goal here. 13th of the season. And it's all about the pass by Claude Giroux. Elevates it and lands it right on the tape of Voracek, who can quickly fire it into the net.
Andrew Kane is shot for the Jets. Back to live action. That's shrugged off by Zepp, and now Matt Reed over to the puck for Philadelphia. Reed did not get the red line and clears it in, but Umberger has the edge, so no icing. On post for the defenseman is checked. Flyers get the puck. Umberger centering for Reed. It's tipped away and past Andrew McDonald out to center ice. McDonald back to get to it. The Jets had scored first in 12 of their last 14 games, but not here tonight. The Flyers get one just 46 seconds in. Raffle and Giroux with the helpers on Voracek's 13th of the year. Jake is back on top of the league scoring race. There's a shot on Zepp. Juggling save. Comes back out in front off of Luke Shannon, just wide. First shot was taken by Jay Harrison, the recently acquired defenseman by the Jets. There he is with the puck now. They have all kinds of injuries on their blue line. Their top 4 defensemen all out and all out long term, so they have had to move Dustin Byfuglien back to defense. They've had to make a trade to acquire Harrison, call up some guys from the minors, and make do. Here's a steal by the Flyers. Laughton with a quick shot, and the save made by Pavelec. He'll hang on.
Nice work by Scott Laughton. Good responsible positioning in the offensive zone there. The puck's turned over. Laughton quickly pounces on it and fires it towards Pavelec. Offensive zone face-off, and Flyers have scrambled a little bit defensively in the early going, but have held their own and managed to get some offensive opportunities as well.
Off the draw here, the Flyers dig the puck free. It's Eddie LeCavalier spinning with it, getting plenty of space. He'll take the shot, and a save made. The puck rattling around off of a skate in front. They continue to dig for it. Now there's Bellemare with a shot that's blocked off. Chris Van de Velde out with LeCavalier and Bellemare as Zach Rinaldo is out with an upper body injury. Sustained in the game last night. Braden Coburn. In the corner, over comes Nick Schultz to help him out, but Schultz turns it over. Chris Thorburn is shot. Stick saves Zepp back around. They get it in front, and it ricochets off Bellemare just wide. Back out it goes Postman at the point. His shot blocked. It went off of Van de Velde and out to center ice. Flyers trying to change here. Jets trying to take advantage, but they lose control. Unable to advance with it was Raffle as he was stepped into by Adam Party, the defenseman And he will flutter it into the Philadelphia zone.
A lot of early wraparound attempts by the Winnipeg Jets here. Flyers have to be careful in below their goal line, and they turn this one over to Blake Wheeler.
They get it back, though, and they'll move out as Voracek will throw it in the middle. Here's Giroux. Giroux it across the line off to Raffl. Raffl's quick shot. Missed the target, might have gone off his stick. And Brian Little. A nice pass to Andrew Ladd, the captain of the Jets. Solid player, moves in across the line. Ladd from the angle sends a bouncer right on Zepp. He'll corral that and take another face-off. I think whenever he can put a halt to play, he'll do that just to try to keep everything under control.
Probably a good way to go about things against this Winnipeg Jets team that loves to get pucks into the feet of goaltenders and look for jam plays in and around the net. They've got some big-bodied wingers that aren't afraid to go to the blue paint. And Rob Zepp so far has been able to get the glove on top of those pucks and force some face-offs.
His face-off will be to his right. Adam Lowry and Sean Couturier. And the Flyers gain control. Reed moving up with it. His pass to Umberger off his stick and gathered by Paul Postman. 25-year-old defense went cross ice and got into traffic and lost it. And Reed is after it deep into the Winnipeg zone. Hardy. So back and now the outlet on the tape to Lowry. Charging it across the line. Lowry tried to center, blocked off. Bodies come together. The puck goes into the corner. Kane from the angle. Got it out in front, but Reed is there to take it out of harm's way. But then he turns it over as he played it to Kane, who centered it in front. They jam for it. Loose puck, and Zepp is able to find it and cover up. Let's go inside the glass for the first time here tonight. And hear from Chris Therien.
Thanks very much, Jimmy. You know, I think when you talk about the Winnipeg Jets, a lot of people think back when they were perhaps the Atlanta Thrashers. These guys have made a lot of noise in the Western Conference since they've come over here to the West, and led by their captain, Andrew Ladd. This guy's got 2 Stanley Cups, both with 2 different teams, Carolina and Chicago, but he is their leader here in Winnipeg. They love this guy. He plays hard for his team. He's a real catalyst.
And Zepp again getting a hold of the puck right off that face-off. It's amazing. Andrew Ladd, part of a group of players that came here to Winnipeg from Atlanta 4 years ago, and although some of them are injured, 11 players remain that are former Atlanta Thrashers, and the team has not made the playoffs yet here since the move.
Great patience, and it's starting to pay off. They got a heck of a head coach in Paul Maurice behind the bench. He's done a real nice job with some of those guys that have hung around.
There's Matthew Perreault behind the Philadelphia net. Centering pass, and Zepp makes the save off of the youngster Mark Scheifele. And Zepp certainly busy here early on. 7 shots already that he's had to face.
And the majority have started in and behind his net to the side of his net. This time it's Scheifele that works it down low and gets in shooting position to fire a quick snapshot. He's got a terrific release, and Rob Zepp's there after Perreault makes the pass out front to make the save and freeze it once again.
That was actually the 8th shot as they add another to the tally. So 8 shots on goal through the first 4.5 minutes. Zepp's going to be a busy guy, apparently. Omar will fire this one into the Winnipeg zone. Pavlik able to stop it behind the net, but then he gives it right back to Bellemare. Centers it in front like Cavalier. A swing and a miss. Oburn into the corner. Vandevelde to the puck. Tried to get it back to Lecavalier, but Scheifele stepped in between. Now for Klitzum. Moving along. Turnover there by Frolik. Lecavalier was wide open in front, but the puck never made it to him this time. Perreault to Frolik. And he'll dump the puck deep into the Philadelphia zone. Nick Schultz knocks down Scheifele, and the Flyers have it. And Pierre-Edouard Bellemare will get to the red line and fling in. Jake Voracek is out, takes that puck along the wall, looks for an option. He'll twirl it down low for Raffl. Raffl changing direction. Raffl looking out in front, continues to protect the puck, gets to Giroux. Back out to Grossman, across for Streit. Streit will just send it in along the boards, and it's Voracek behind the net. Voracek handing off to Raffl. Raffl trying to step around Bufflin, center to Giroux. Giroux looks in the middle, nothing there. Now he centers it off Voracek. It was blocked in front. Trot didn't see the puck coming his way, and so Streit able to keep it in momentarily. Flyers working hard and battling along the wall, but finally the puck out through center and now to the Philadelphia line. Wheeler, he's forced back. Voracek shoved from behind and knocked down by Sherratt, who will get to the puck. And his pass is out to Ladd, who will just back at it across ice, nobody home. For Winnipeg, Grossman clears it up and off of Schenn to the neutral zone. 6 minutes in now to this first period. McDonald is back for Philadelphia. Kane checked. Simmons reaching for it. Bounces out to Klitzum. His little wrister deflected and went wide, and Zepp again freezes the puck as it bounced off the wall. Good start for the Flyers on the scoreboard as Jake Voracek takes the feed from his buddy Giroux and the Flyers are on top.
Well, there's still time to grab your Santa Sack gift pack as a perfect last-minute gift, including 2 tickets, an autographed puck, a Flyers calendar, assorted concessions, and more, starting at $150. Shop at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com. And if you waited late like I usually do, there's still a chance to get that last-minute Christmas gift, and Jake Voracek gets an early gift on a beautiful feed from Claude Giroux here to open the scoring.
Yeah, those guys have been taking turns with great passes to one another.
Amazing.
They are easily the highest scoring duo now in the NHL. Postma back to play the puck for the Jets. Across ice feed for Vanderkate. All that speed. Gets that puck in. They say it's onside. Reed then turned it over. Shot, score! Matt Halishuk beats Zepp. Ends a 27-game goalless drought and ties the game at 1.
Flyers did a good job of slowing down Evander Kane through the neutral zone, and then Matt Reed had a tough time with the puck. Turning it over at the offensive blue line. Halishuk jumps on it. There's Kane staying with it. Reed has it on the backhand. Tough play. Halishuk grabs it and puts it off the goal post past Zepp.
Kane was kind of coming through that neutral zone, very reckless too. Could have lost the puck before the blue line. Instead, Halishuk ends up picking up the garbage on the unfortunate Reed turnover. 1-1 here in Winnipeg.
So the former New Jersey Devil and Nashville Predator on the board. Flyers looking to bounce right back. Lawton a shot right into the chest of Pavlik, and he'll pin it right there.
Good bounce back shift for the Flyers after Winnipeg gets the score even up at 1 apiece. Lawton's line jumps out there and spends a little bit of time in the offensive zone, and with that shot first mentality, Lawton gets it to the net and now gets an offensive zone faceoff.
Craig Berube looked right at Lawton after the goal was scored and pointed to him, said, go on it, go ahead on the ice. Came to him right away after the goal. That's a big sign for a young player.
And he wins the drawback to Coburn, whose shot is fended off by Pavlik, bounces high in the air. Scheifele and Simmons looking for it. Scheifele has it now ahead off Perreault to Frolik. And Frolik will finesse the puck into the Philadelphia zone. Coburn back with Perreault right on his tail. And the hit was applied. Braden Shen gets it back to Lawton, who found Coburn. Braden Coburn on the backhand, and then reverses. Scheifele was there, just couldn't quite come up with it. Nick Schultz up the wall, off Lawton and all the way down. This will be icing. Schultz got dumped by Scheifele after he had delivered that pass. The Jets have been physical.
Schultz taking the hit to make the play.
Braden Shen.
And Braden Shen there to respond with Scheifele. The Flyers not going to back down on this one.
Check out the CSN Philly mobile app. Get breaking news and analysis from our insiders, plus videos, scores, schedules, and more. Visit csnphilly.com/app and download today. 1-1, shots 9-5.
That hit was a little late looking at it.
Byfuglien given a lot of room. Byfuglien cuts in front and scores! You can't give Dustin Byfuglien that kind of room, and he gives the Jets their first lead of the night. It's 2-1. Big Buff, as they call him, back in the blue line, but still an offensive force, his 8th of the year.
Uses his size and strength to protect the puck. And if you give him space, he's going to burn you. And just walks the wall there. Schultz got tied up with the linesman and couldn't find Byfuglien, and Byfuglien is able to, on the forehand, put it in off the post. And
Schultz had, that was his guy ultimately. Forward's got to pick him up. Schultz didn't, and then when they went to the front of the net, Coburn went with the far guy. He's got to come over and bail out his partner. That never happened in any part of that sequence.
So the Jets get a couple of goals separated by just 55 seconds. They now have the 2-1 lead. They are a great first period team. The Boston Bruins were in here 2 nights ago. The Jets outshot the Bruins, a very good team, 16-4. Here's Raffl, got it in front. Giroux was checked by Wheeler, couldn't get a shot up. Raffl has it back, drops it to Giroux, out to Grossman. His shot, that's fended off in front. So there's confusion there. Not sure if it got to Pavlik, but it stayed out. Grossman will drop it off for Raffl, who chipped it across ice. Lecavalier off the bench, right back to Streit. And now Streit. Outlet Lecavalier will get to that puck. Lecavalier moving in. The backhander is gloved by Pavlik. He'll hang on to it.
You know, a lot of guys, of course, in Philadelphia is going to remember Dustin Byfuglien as a forward. in Chicago, back in defense here in Winnipeg. And Jones, you mentioned this guy earlier, Paul Maurice. What a job he's done. Most Winnipeg people say the team has turned around with a lot of the same personnel because of Paul Maurice.
Ton of experience for a young guy. Still started as a 28-year-old back with the Hartford Whalers, and has been a terrific head coach in the National Hockey League.
He's 47. That's still pretty young by coaching standards. He's got 5 wins to go before he hits 500.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And he's been around, of course, twice with Carolina and also Toronto. Jay Harrison seems to follow him around as that puck goes into the crowd. Jay Harrison, recently acquired, as we mentioned, is playing with Maurice, or for Maurice at least, for the 4th time. 4 different teams, 1 AHL and 3 National Hockey League teams.
Maurice keeps it looser than he used to. He used to be a little tight behind there, and that's one of the things that comes with experience. He's had a pretty happy-go-lucky attitude here behind the Winnipeg Jets bench, and that's really helped some of the players that have had some of the pressure alleviated, and it seems to be working out really well.
Well, they really wanted to stress fitness during the offseason, so late last year they were not going to make the playoffs. They only had 2 games left. A 90-minute practice, pretty much without pucks, just skating, and said, this is what you're going to have next training camp, so get ready. And this team is in obviously great shape. They're very fast, no doubt about that. As the Flyers move up, Adebelli, he's got Bellemare going to the net. There's the pass, but Bellemare could not come up with it and takes the hit in the corner. There's Thorburn. He'll backhand it all the way down, and this will be icing against Winnipeg.
Flyers' 4th line has been really effective lately, and Vinny Lecavalier showing some good speed down the wing. Bill Clement talking about him before the game. He's skating better, and Bellemare's legs, along with Adebelli here tonight, already in on the forecheck on 2 or 3 occasions. Done a nice job of getting to the loose pucks and getting those pucks to the net.
Saw Bellemare coming out of the rink last night in Toronto, and he was pretty sore. So that was the roughest game he's played in his career. Last night.
He took some huge hits. He's taking another one here in the game tonight. But keeps coming right back out and playing. He impressed the coaching staff with his determination along those lines last night. Flyers trying to get some offense generated here, but the puck out to center. Streit right back to the line. Raffl sending Voracek in on goal. He waits, he shoots, and he missed the net. He certainly took his time, but missed the target once he got out into the slot area. Jake Voracek, as tightly as teams are trying to check him, had to wonder what happened there as he had all kinds of room. There's a flip shot by Streit, gobbled up by Pavelec. He did score earlier though, did Jake, and so he is back on top. Tyler Seguin had a 3-point night tonight in Dallas's game, so he had temporarily moved back into a tie with Jake, but Jake's right back on top, and Claude Giroux is charging as well.
It looked like Voracek was going to climb the ladder one more time as he was in alone there on that last attempt. Giroux was in shooting position. Voracek decided to hang on to that one and just missed the blocker side on Pavelec.
They had the wrong deep pair out against that line. Paul Maurice not recognizing it. And Giroux and Voracek, if they get that, they will take advantage of those kids all night. Party on the back end especially.
Schultz back to get the puck for Philadelphia. Cross ice, and now Couturier will send one in. Harrison back, checked by Reed. Worked it ahead to Kane. Kane, who always seems to give the Flyers trouble. Even when he is struggling, he seems to have great games against them. All that speed we talked about. 30-goal scorer early on in his career, trying to rediscover that offensive magic. Here's Harrison with the left wing feed for Lowry. Lowry breaks his stick as he tried to take that shot. Coburn flips it. Harrison also without a stick. Batted that down, so the Jets had 2 players without sticks right there momentarily. Couturier clears that one into the zone. It deflected, so no icing.
Makes it a little easier to get the puck out of your own zone.
Yes. Here's Byfuglien surveying as he moves up. And he'll wind it in. And hit some of the driftwood out there, the 2 sticks. What's left of them? The battle on the wall. Scheifele trying to get that back to the point cutoff, and Wayne Simmons will move it ahead. He's checked, turns with it again, and finds Lawton. Lawton will give to McDonald. McDonald flings into the Winnipeg zone. It'll make its way to Simmons, who bunts it back around. Braden Shen tracking it down, but he didn't get it cleanly, so they'll just poke it through to Simmons, who's hit from behind. Penalty. Adam Pardy will get the gate as he decks Simmons from behind, and the Flyers will get the game's first power play. And we'll have that man advantage for you when we come back. 2-1 Winnipeg here in the first.
Flyers try to get back to even here in the first period, down by 1. 2-1's the score. Adam Party takes a boarding penalty. Wayne Simmons doing the work on the boards in the offensive zone. Party takes him into the wall, and Simmons turned that way. Party leaned into him, took him down hard. Boarding is the call. 2-minute minor penalty, and the Flyers head to the power play.
And this is an area the Flyers have to be looking at in this game as a potential area to take advantage of the Jets. The Jets take a lot of penalties. They're second in the NHL in penalty minutes per game, and the Flyers power play, of course, very dangerous. It is ranked 5th in the NHL. Straight a shot that's blocked off by Harrison. Got back by Braden Shen, and he'll point it to Streit. The Flyers get set up again. Giroux down low. Simmons, he had to make a move and lost the puck. Shen trying to get it back, does. For Voracek, he missed it, and it went out through center. Streit has to hustle and keep it away from Little. And the Flyers now to move in. Giroux to Voracek. Up the middle with it, and he held up right at the line, and that caused Shen to be offside.
Right idea there for Voracek. Bufflin, the defenseman that they want to challenge as they get to the offensive blue line. Just a little bit of a delay move there. Braden Shen hopped over and went offside.
There's your McDonald's power play payoff contestant. In saying this is an area they can take advantage of, the Jets are pretty good penalty killers. They're 8th ranked, although here at home below 80%. You have to be careful of this team, though. 5 shorthanded goals. 3 of them belong to Michael Frolik.
Kane is very dangerous too, guys. He's got exceptional speed, and he will cheat.
Has moved the puck in. Shen across ice, but the Jets right there, and it's hammered all the way down by Ben Chiarot. Defenseman who's been moved up from the minors to make up for some of the injuries that the Jets have incurred on their blue line, and he's played very well. Here's Reed. Reed takes the puck deep, drops it off to Lecavalier, the Flyers' second unit to work. McDonald moves to the middle and gives to Lecavalier. 40 seconds on the power play. And all kinds of room there for Umberger. He mishandled it. Now it comes out in front. Reed's backhander stop. And the Jets clear it all the way down. Wasn't exactly how the Flyers designed it, but they ended up with a scoring chance.
Broken play, but the right idea by Matt Reed. Once he found that puck, a backhand shot that Pavelec was able to handle.
Reed has it again. He's checked just as he got in across the line. And here's Harrison trying to send Little out, but instead, once the puck was tipped, he decides to just clear it all the way down. Zepp. He'll dish it to the corner net. Wind up on Ladd's stick. He's bumped by Luke Shen. And now with the power play down to just 5 seconds, Vandevelde starts up. This Vandevelde will chip and chase. He'll get through the potential interference there, but the Jets are there to get the puck. Scheifele overskated momentarily, but finds Ladd. Ladd will whip it into the Philadelphia zone. Perreault stepped into by Grossman. The puck bounces to Belmar. He'll get to Luke Shen. Ahead, Raffle, touch pass for Vandevelde. He'll tip it in again and chase. Chiarot back. Vandevelde gets to him. Vandevelde hits the deck. Bufflin to the puck. And tries the other side. Grossman is right there. Back around behind the net. Vandevelde hustling to get his stick on it. But now it's Frolik. Michael Frolik will just finesse that puck into the Philadelphia zone. Belmar back to help out his defense. Steps around Coburn and moves it ahead to Simmons. Simmons trying to get that to Braden Shen, misses him. Shen tips it away from Postma. Simmons reaching for it. Scheifele there. Lawton trying to tuck it down low, but Postma cut it off. And now it's Nick Schultz at the Philadelphia line. 5:47 remaining in this first period. Scheifele cutting in off the wing. The shot saves that. Rebound to Halischuk. He'll go back out toward the point, but nobody ready for it for the Jets, and so Postma has to go back into his own zone.
Tricky little shot there. Scheifele getting it to the net, and a nice pad save by Zepp.
Probably the butterflies gone now for Zepp, as he's had to handle the puck a lot and face some shots, and faced them very quickly early on. Play settling down some here over the last 5 or 6 minutes. There's a shot by Halischuk. Easy save for Zepp. Back out it goes Chiarot. He's checked by Simmons. And spilled was Halischuk. Kane worked down by Lawton. Lawton trying to control it with his skates. Puts his glove up in the face of Halischuk. The puck rolls free, and Raffle will set it out to the neutral zone, but Flyers don't get it across the red line. Here's Kane right back in, tries to step around Coburn. Coburn had other ideas. And the Flyers now have the puck. Here's Voracek. Voracek trying to send Giroux in. It bounces back to Jake. Swats it across ice. Bufflin and Giroux after it. Bufflin got the stick in the midsection of Giroux. Oh, and then a big hit as Raffl hits the deck. And he's a little slow getting back up. Bufflin charges through center to Wheeler. Wheeler's shot, stick save, Zep, and the puck goes out of play. Raffl to the bench. 4:31 remaining in the first. 2-1 Jets here in the first. There are some Flyers fans here in Manitoba. Here, look at the scratches. Zach Rinaldo out for the Flyers, suffering that injury last night. And all the defensemen you see at the top of that list for Winnipeg are basically considered their top 4. But Zach's injury last night, Jonesy, came from contact.
Yeah, working hard defensively, grabbing a puck here, trying to get the puck out of the zone. And Trevor Smith makes a good, solid contact. It's a clean hit on Zach Rinaldo, and Rinaldo's shaken up by that contact. Down in that area, it's a hit-first mentality that the Maple Leafs have on that occasion, and Zach Rinaldo takes the worst of that.
So Craig Berube inserting Chris Vandevelde into the lineup. Flyers will soon have the services of Ryan White as well, as he's coming back from his pectoral injury. But right now the roster freeze on. There are cap complications as well. Vandevelde, who opts in. Like Matt Reed after the puck here, checked by Klitzum. And his Lowry Flyers come away with the puck. Umberger tried to get it out in front, but he was cut off at the pass, and now it's Kane one-handing it off the wall and chasing. Streit just tried to keep him away from it. Kane belly flops to the ice, the puck to the other side of the ice surface, and Reed trying to keep Halishchuk away from it. But Halishchuk winds up with it and takes the shot. Zep handles that one with ease.
Well, back by popular demand for one game only. Enjoy a ticket plus a Flyers Ugly Sweater t-shirt, all starting at $50. Available for the first home game of the new year on January the 6th against Ottawa. Snag this deal online at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com.
A lot of Flyers fans here in Winnipeg, guys. Of course, the Flyers have a lot of good ties to Manitoba. None other than former Hall of Fame player and manager Bob Clark from Flin Flon.
Flin Flon, indeed. There's Barty, a shot batted away. The current general manager of the Flyers ties here. We'll talk about that a little later in the broadcast. Barty is that across ice. McDonald takes a big hit as he got the puck ahead. Boy, the Jets are delivering some big hits in this first period. Have to keep your head up. Chance in transition for the Flyers. Vandevelde. They had LeCavier ahead of the back, but they didn't see him in time, and that rush disintegrated. Icing, though, is the call against the Winnipeg Jets. Yeah, we were talking about Ron Hextall, the general manager of the Flyers. He was at the Manitoba Hall of Fame earlier on, signing the wall, which is something they have done by all the people who've been inducted into that Hall of Fame. Hexie was inducted 5 years ago, and so a nice moment for Hexie. The honored member wall is what it's called. Saying above it says, to play the game is good, to win is better, but to love the game is best of all. We know Hexie loves this game.
There's no doubt about that.
He also loves Manitoba.
Yes, he does. Loves the city of Winnipeg.
Well, he's obviously not from right here in Winnipeg. All of Manitoba, basically, Bundy, he loves. He calls it God's country.
I told him the other day that Winnipeg wasn't the end of the world, but you could see it from here.
He would debate you on that, for sure. But congratulations to Hexie for that honor. And there's a pass, behind the back pass from Giroux for Raffl. Goes off his stick deep into the Winnipeg zone. It's actually been pretty warm here in Winnipeg.
Yep.
We were thinking it might be frigid when we got here. But this temperature for the 30, 35 degrees out there.
It was nice. You could walk outside.
The beach was open today.
It was. Did you go?
No, but it's like what? It was. I know what you guys are saying. It was a warm day for Winnipeg, for sure, in the winter.
Blitzen with the puck here. Shot blocked. Simmons tried to spring Schenn, but he was quickly checked. Following up is Simmons, and across the line, the shot blocked. And as Harrison got in the way of that, Lawton gets knocked down. McDonald sends it right back into the Winnipeg zone. We tick down to 2 minutes remaining in this first period. 15-8 of the shots in favor of the Jets. Although play has sort of settled down here of late. Flyers seem to have found their structure in their game. We'll give the Jeep trivia question. This is another one that I consider, if not a layup, pretty darn close for most hockey fans. Who scored 76 goals for the original Winnipeg Jets as a rookie. An NHL record. For Howard, Chuck Solani, or Tkachuk?
Just beat me out for Rookie of the Year that year.
Is that your rookie year?
Yeah.
You didn't quite have the impact.
64 more goals than I had. I couldn't believe it. I was really upset.
You didn't quite have the impact he did.
No.
Jets get the puck to the neutral zone. Halischuk will send it the rest of the way. Donald takes a peek around behind him, but he never really got to the puck, and then he's sandwiched by a couple of Jets. Puck free to Luke Schenn. Luke +3 last night. Been playing some pretty good hockey since coming back from the DNP list, as they call it. Healthy scratch list. Here's Couturier hit across the line. Over is Harrison, getting a lot of ice time in his second game with the Jets. First game, he literally was off the plane and onto the ice on Friday night against Boston, as he had just been acquired in that trade. Here's Reed. Hitting Voracek with speed, but Jake Pans on the dump in. And Scheifele gets it to Kane, who swats it deep to Philadelphia ice. Schultz up the wall for Raffl. Getting it to Giroux, but the active stick of Byfuglien rolls it back deep into the Philadelphia zone. There's a takeout of Voracek, and then a broken stick with Sherrod as he tried to unload. Flyers move up. Sherrod doesn't have a stick. The defenseman on the near side as they move up. Here's Raffl with a shot. Save Pavlik. Rebound pops free. Byfuglien clears, but not out. Rolling puck, and an eludes strike. Did he keep it in? He did. He got the puck along for Raffl, but then it's cut off by Scheifele. Scheifele moving up to the Philadelphia line. Tries to go around Grossman. Grossman knocked him down. Crowd wants a penalty. They're not going to get it. 25 seconds in the period. Giroux reaching for it. It bounces to Raffl. He's having trouble controlling as Wheeler rides him into the boards, and then Raffl trips him, and that'll be a penalty. Delayed call. Here's Ladd. Has it stripped away, and there's your whistle. And now Winnipeg will get a power play as Raffl will get the gate.
Just 14 seconds left in the first period, and Flyers much more balanced over the last 10 minutes or so against the Winnipeg Jets. Raffl takes the tripping penalty after the puck was turned over a couple of times, gets the stick in the skates of Blake Wheeler there. Right call made, and
got it stuck right in the middle area where the stick got dragged as his player's skate moved forward. Complete accident, but nonetheless a 2-minute penalty.
Well, Raffl takes his seat. The Jets with their first man advantage.
And look for Byfuglien to shoot a lot here, guys, with 14 seconds. I would imagine that will be the emphasis, and see everybody up except Big Buff, as they call him here in Winnipeg.
Perreault will try to get the puck back to him. Giroux will try to deny that. But the Jets do get it to number 33. His wrist shot misses as he looked for redirection. Wheeler behind the net, knocked down. Puck chipped to the corner board. Giroux up the wall, 4 seconds. Now Engels shot by Little, save. Zep turnaround shot, Ladd, and that's denied in front as the horn sounds, ending period number 1. And the Flyers happy to be within 1 as the Jets nearly got another one past Zep there at the end of the period. But Zep sees a lot of pucks. 16 shots in all. He stops 14 of them. The Jets with a 2-1 lead through 20 minutes. Tonight's Flyers-Jets first period was brought to you by Kia. To learn more, visit kia.com. And by Papa John's. The day after the Flyers win and score 3 or more goals, get 50% off your online order using promo code FLYERS at papajohns.com. Intermission Live, straight ahead, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, John Boric, and Bill Clement. Their analysis of period number 1 from Winnipeg. Second period from Winnipeg is brought to you by your local Delaware Valley Audi dealers and legendary Audi Quattro all-wheel drive, the world's top-selling luxury all-wheel drive system. And by McDonald's. Any size hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. In many ways, the Dustin Byfuglien Show in period number 1. Here are the numbers, courtesy of the Rothman Institute at Jefferson.
shots on goal, face-offs. That's where Winnipeg was outstanding in the first period. 17 shots, 17 face-offs, 1 of the 24 attempts.
Jake Voracek got the Flyers off to a good start, 46 seconds in. And it was Matt Halischuk and Dustin Byfuglien separated by 55 seconds to put the Jets on top. Our James NHL update takes you to Edmonton. The Oilers off to a good start against the Stars. Taylor Hall with that goal made it 5-2, but back comes Dallas, led by Tyler Seguin. He gets one there to get him close, and then he ties it up right here. 5-5. They go to a shootout after this, and who wins it for Dallas but the former Oiler captain, Sean Horkoff. That's the 4th straight win for the Stars. The Oilers have now lost 7 straight and 18 of their last 19.
Disaster in Edmonton. They find a way to lose every night.
Greg McTavish going down on the bench, and it hasn't changed the fortunes. Dallas Eakins now out there. We'll see how that develops as the season goes along. Tia talked about not being there all that long. We shall see. Second period underway here in Winnipeg. Power play on for the Jets. Michael Raffl still off for tripping. Big kill. A fresh sheet of ice for the Jets. And here's Little sending it right on through, and that's going to make its way all the way out to center ice. So the Flyers clear the zone without touching the puck. Here's Byfuglien. There are the numbers. The Flyers, of course, have struggled with their penalty kill, although on a run here of late, which they've killed 11 of their last 12. John Couturier shoved off the puck by Byfuglien. What a force he's been in this game. The pass ahead to Ladd. Ladd in the middle. Perreault walks in, shoots. And Zepp stayed with him. I'm sure he got all that shot, but Zepp took care of it. Here's Byfuglien. To Ladd. Now back to Byfuglien. One-timer save. Zepp. And he had Wheeler right in his way. Good save there by the goaltender. The puck down the ice. Umberger in pursuit. But here comes Byfuglien to keep it away from him. And find Perreault with 38 seconds remaining on the power play. Perreault, one of the few acquisitions by the Jets during the offseason, gets it to Scheifele. Zepp knocks that one down behind the net. He'll play the puck off the glass and ahead, but over the Jets to keep it in. Klitzum got it to Scheifele. Scheifele's pass blocked by Grossman. Behind the net, Kane looking for it, but Coburn sweeps it away from him. Postma will keep it in. To Frolik. Frolik tying up Grossman's stick. Coburn comes over to jab it free. Bellemare to the puck. He throws it across ice. It will make it to center ice. And the Jets just get it back in as the power play comes to an end right now. Out of the box jumps Raffl. Flyers kill it off. It's still a 2-1 game. Postma spinning it into the Philadelphia zone. Bellemare behind his own net. The outlet for Raffl in his skates. Oh, Claude Giroux goes down in a heap. Gloves off, stick down on the ice. Completely away from the play, and Giroux is in all kinds of pain. And we'll get some help here from Jim McCrossin. I did not see what happened at all.
I didn't either, JJ.
Collision with Thorburn as Giroux was starting to get into a set breakout position. He ran into Thorburn, who I believe did not see Giroux where the contact was made.
Yeah, obviously the Flyers saw this because away from what you're looking at right there, a gathering around Thorburn as some of the Flyers went after him.
There's a look at what happened. Thorburn's stick catches Giroux up high. And Thorburn was not looking at Giroux. He came on a line change. Evander Kane heading off the ice. Thorburn there at the top of your screen was trying to get his stick and glove on. I guess he wasn't ready for the change, and he clips Claude Giroux with his stick there. Referees in discussion right now trying to figure things out here.
The good thing is, guys, I believe Giroux is going to be fine. He ended up kind of looking at the Winnipeg bench and quite angry at what happened. I think he's unaware of what happened, to be honest with you. He did not know it was Thorburn. You'll see the stick come off. Thorburn was changing. He had his stick open right there, and that was, clearly a penalty. They missed it.
They had a long discussion, did Dean Morton and Tom Cowell, but I don't believe there's going to be any penalty called here. There's still a conversation over right there as you're watching. Wayne Simmons chatting with Cowell, and of course the captain for the Jets, Andrew Ladd, on the scene. But no call. Just a face-off in the neutral zone.
And it's a missed call. You have to always be in control of your stick no matter where you are on the ice, and Thorburn was not on that occasion. The Jets have had a couple of breaks here in this game.
So the referee just told the Flyers bench, listen, I missed it. I never saw it. It was kind of behind the play. Sorry, guys, that's just what happens. And Craig Berube seems to understand it. Ian LePerrier is looking at saying, you just cost us 4 minutes of power play time by not seeing it. So
It was away from the play because I was following the puck and did not see it. But not that far away from the play. The puck was in the vicinity, but not right there. And the 4 sets of eyes. Nobody saw it on the ice. These 2 referees or linesmen. Linesmen can also help the officials out in a call like that. Chris Terry, you were down not all that far from where it happened, and you didn't see it, so you can understand perhaps.
Right, the puck's going by me here. I'm following it down into the Winnipeg zone, and it happens behind the play. So it's the way it goes.
Here's Kane, worked on. But as Jonesy alluded to, not the first missed call here tonight. We'll get to that in a second. As Kane centers, that puck will go all the way out to center and down the ice.
Wayne Simmons fired up after Giroux took that stick from Thorburn. Had a couple of conversations with Thorburn on the ice, and you can see he's got a real angry on. He just headed off into the Flyers bench, but the Flyers looked a little fired up after the contact with Giroux.
He sometimes plays some of his best hockey in that frame of mind. As a centering pass off of Streit, as Wheeler was looking for it. Puck chopped ahead, not out. Sherratt sends one in off the stick of Zepp. And the Flyers get to it. Grossman takes a hit. Raffl also takes a hit as he backhands it across. And there's Giroux, obviously all right. Giroux will get it to Voracek. Voracek getting it away from Little. Voracek out to the corner with it. Now to the point. Streit, and he lost it out to the neutral zone. They were set up in good shape, but the puck got away from Streit. Flyers will change up. Here's Byfuglien. That pass through center as it missed Perreault, and so it's icing against Winnipeg.
Winnipeg Jets' first goal of the game was offside, and it was missed by the linesman. You can see Adam Lowry over the line right there before Evander King gets the puck in. Matt Reed ends up turning it over. Halishuk scores the goal, but it's a bang-bang play again, and you can see how easy it is to miss a call like that. Linesmen are usually right on it. A split second there, they did not get it right.
Almost looked like Lowry came to a stop thinking he was going to hear the whistle.
He knew he was offside.
Here's Lecavalier backhanding, but that into the skates of Sherratt, who now gains control. Backhands it, it skips ahead to Perreault. He's knocked down. And the Flyers find the puck but play it into the bench. As Van de Velde pumped it into his own bench.
Take a look at our Geico quote of the game. Sean Couturier talked about playing aggressively against Toronto, and I think he's dead on here. If they got to play like this night in and night out, guys, if they'd stay in the battle. One thing Craig Berube talked about yesterday was, again, having more edge, more grit to their game, and I think that's something that they really did have in Toronto the other night, and they've had it at points in this game as well, and a very tough back-to-back. That is Sean Couturier, though, with the Geico quote of the game.
Yeah, they've been physical in this game.
Yeah,
Winnipeg's been physical. The Jets, much more structured team defensively than the Leafs. Not as much room out there for the Flyers, although they have had their chances. That puck to the point, left in by Postma, gets it to Halishuk. He could not get a shot off this time. And now that puck catches the safety netting, leading to the whistle, stopping play.
A couple good defensive plays there. Braden Coburn originally, and Nick Schultz is able to get a stick on that wrap attempt by Halishuk. A good aggressive play from the Flyers defenders, who have started to pick it up.
The straw will be to the left of Zepp as Coburn takes a seat on the bench. Braden Schenn steps in. And the Jets gain control. Frolik. Now Luke Schenn turning away from a forechecker, but then giving up the puck at the quarter to Frolik. Luke gets it back. He's bumped by Scheifele. Scheifele now behind the net, looking to make a play at Schenn. The heavy hit on Scheifele into the wall. Crowd wants a penalty. They're not going to get it. The referee might have gotten clipped by a stick and all that. Here's Schenn. A pass that goes off a stick back to Braden Schenn, and he'll turn it through the neutral zone and down the ice. Clicks him. First to it, Lawton approaching him. And now Harrison ahead for Frolik. The two-way forward will chip it deep into the Philadelphia zone. Scheifele and Streit after it. And Lawton following up the play has it. Head manning to Simmons. Simmons gets the red line and rolls it into the Winnipeg zone. Flyers will change. Shots are 20-9 in favor of Winnipeg. They lead 2-1 where it counts. This will be icing against the Jets.
Still looking for that big gift that's going to wow them. The Santa Sac Captain's Pack includes 4 tickets plus a Flyers stick autographed by Flyers captains Giroux, Simmons, and Streit. Shop at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com. Two of those captains on the ice right here. Giroux in the face-off circle where he had a tough time in the first period. Trying to get back on track here in the second.
Hey, won just one draw in the first period. Leads all NHL players in face-off wins. Won that one cleanly to Grossman. Now it's Raffl. Wrapped up there by Sherratt. Raffl pokes the puck free. Now Voracek. Voracek up the wall. A nice pass to Grossman. Grossman did not see. Had a man open in the slot in Raffl, but he did not see him. Here's Streit. Streit for Raffl. Raffl decked again. This time it was Sherratt who knocked him down from behind, but Drew got the puck back, tried to sneak that one through from the angle, but it bounced off Pavelec out into the slot and then is clear. Grossman having to deal with Andrew Ladd here, and he does to Streit. Pass in the middle off Voracek to Raffl, and then right back to Jake. Hit across the line, the quick shot blocked off by Byfuglien. Behind the play, down on one knee is a Jet, and we got a penalty coming up against Philadelphia.
Welcome back to Winnipeg. A couple guys in the penalty box right here, coincidental minors. And we're going to have a look here now at our Chevy player profile, and it is a Winnipeg Jet. Brian Little here is 8th season with the Atlanta Winnipeg franchise. You can see his numbers, guys, are up near the top since he has been drafted and played in this league. He's been in the league too for about since he was a 19-year-old. So he's got himself worked in nicely here. Western Canadian boy, playing in Winnipeg, and that is our Chevy player profile.
Third all-time, this franchise in all the important categories. He is the player you saw in the box. Is not just Streit getting a penalty, but also Little. Streit goes for interference, Little for slashing. And so we get some 4-on-4 hockey here. A little bit of a delay over by the Zamboni entrance. The officials over there
Trying to sort things out. Not sure what the issue was there, but it seems like it's temporarily resolved.
This is where Giroux and Voracek can really hurt a team. Together 4-on-4, these two are lethal.
They get the draw back to Schultz, who finds Coburn. Coburn sends it in front off Voracek wide. Voracek muscling it in front. Backhander save. Rebound. Pavelec able to dive on top of it. Jake Voracek again with that strength, as he is so difficult to get that puck away from.
It's remarkable what he just did there. Coburn's pass across to Voracek was in an area where Voracek couldn't see it coming. He just grabs it with the stick, though, one-arms it around the defender, and it gets the puck to the net with a second attempt lying in around the crease. Great stuff from Voracek, and Giroux was in there looking for the loose puck.
Flyers win another draw on the 4-on-4. Giroux center, but that one snuffed out by Sherratt, who's on the money with his outlet to Blake Wheeler. Blake Wheeler, leading scorer for this team last year, with a shot blocked off by Coburn. He's back to Wheeler, and now he finds Sherratt. His pass is to Byfuglien. 4-on-4, Byfuglien is more a rover than he is a defenseman. In fact, he's like that almost all the time. Flyers with a chance here, moving up though is Giroux. Carries it across the line. Giroux dangles his way in around behind, trying to bank it in, but it got caught on the outside of the net. And now it's Wheeler. The alley-oop pass try for Byfuglien. That's tipped away, and Simmons looked for Schenn. Braden could not come up with that, and so it's Sherratt instead. Pass off Byfuglien's skate, but he's got it back. And now the 23-year-old defenseman Sherratt ahead to Frolik. Frolik to the Philadelphia line. Wrist shot. Sepp calmly makes the save. Steers the puck to the corner. 50 seconds remain in the concurrent minors. Grossman has to deal with Ladd. Quick pass there to Andrew McDonald, who drops it back. And now Braden Schenn. A right wing pass that is intercepted by Byfuglien. But he's stopped by Grossman, who gets it ahead to Simmons. He's got Schenn with him. Mini 2-on-1, although Frolik's getting back. Here's Simmons. Lots of room. Cuts in front, but his shot is deflected away by Klitzum. Probably one move too many there. Now the other way goes Ladd. Ladd to the Philadelphia line. Cross ice pass. Here's Harrison. A shot off the stick of Schultz, and then the glass. Simmons battles Kane, and Kane comes away with the puck. Evander Kane behind the Philadelphia net, and Coburn showing that mobility, stays right with him. Gets it to Simmons, to Schenn, who had trouble with it and is taken back by Perreault. And that'll do it for the Miners. To Streit and Little there out of the box. Jets moving up. Kane, a shot is blocked to the corner. Little Tried to get it in front. It went off a flyer behind the net. At the back of the net there, and now is played by Lawton. He'll push it ahead to Strite. Mark Strite in across the line. Strite winds, fires, save Pavlik. And Vinny Lecavalier with a wave at it as it was caught up in the equipment of the Winnipeg goaltender.
Couple of chances in a row there. Wayne Simmons with the opportunity down the wing and just couldn't get that puck through to the net. And then a nice job by Mark Strite jumping up here, getting the puck through. Vinny Lecavalier showing some good hustle, getting towards the net. No rebound. Pavlik hangs on to it, and the Flyers have an offensive zone face-off here.
Lawton will take that draw against Jim Slater. Longtime player with his franchise. Flyers get the puck. Lecavalier turning with it, and then could not get it past Slater, and Slater charges up. Michigan State product off on the right wing to Peluso. Peluso's shot blocked by McDonald, and then Lecavalier will send Lawton towards center. Lawton chipping it, hoping to get it past Postma, but he did not. Lost it in center. That's one of those young players' mistakes right there. Now the Jets get back into the Philadelphia zone. Peluso to Slater. Shot! Save! Zepp through a screen. Thorburn standing right in his way, but Zepp held his position. Now Belmar sends it in off. Pavlik, it bounces off his glove and then right out into the slot area. Belmar after it. Umberger comes in. Umberger centering for Couturier, but it goes off a stick it out to center ice.
Belmar good at both ends of the ice again. Intelligent positioning defensively leads to offensive opportunities.
Umberger. And he lost control, and now it's a 3-on-2 the other way. Kane with a puck. Kane holding on from the right wing. Waits, fires, saves. Zep. Rebound out the other side. Blitzham out it to Halischuk. He's tied up. Grossman pins his man. Wright continues to work on Halischuk. And he comes away with the puck. His pass finds Reed. At Reed, who's center, and from the red line will backhand in. We approach the midpoint of regulation time. Good hockey game here in Winnipeg, 2-1. Jets have the lead, all the scoring in period number 1. Here's Harrison. Harrison, the spring came, but he gets Coburn instead. Coburn a pop fly to center, but Klitzum will knock that down, overskated, and now it'll roll wide of the Philadelphia net. Coburn will have to take a hit to get the puck to Schultz. Schultz up the left wing, and pass in the middle, handled by Giroux, out of his skates. The shot! Save Pavlik. How did he play that out of his skates? Might have actually been out of his knee pad.
Does it all the time in practice, which is what you do in practice, right? Continue to practice things, and Claude Giroux, one of those players, as great as he is, continues to find different ways to be even more creative.
Raffle couldn't handle that pass. A float shot from the point, deflected and went wide. McDonald falls down. Little to the puck, he lost it. Voracek tips to Giroux. Giroux ahead for Raffle. Raffle looking for an open man, but he finds Wheeler instead, and Wheeler will shovel it in to the Philadelphia zone. Luke Shen has to go back and get it. Now trying to urge the Jets on here. Middle stages of this game. There's lob one out. Harrison puts it down and finds Frolik. And it's back to Byfuglien. 9 minutes remaining in the period. Scheifele takes a hit from Shen as he backhands in. Zepp showing more confidence playing the puck here in the second period. Got that puck up and out of the zone. A loose stick behind the net as Frolik had lost his stick. He's got another one back from the bench. Here's Perreault to Frolik for the shot. Saves up, rebound comes free, and they score. Perreault jams in the rebound. It's 3-1 Winnipeg.
Perreault had made the play at the offensive blue line, showing some nice quickness, got the puck towards the net and followed it. And as Rob Zepp tried to come up with the rebound, poked it towards the stick of Perreault, and he quickly put it in the net. There's Perreault on the entry, a little spinorama, pass across, and he follows it to the net right there. It gets chipped to him. He grabs it on the backhand, moves it to the forehand, and puts it in.
You know what? You're right, Jones. When they came in, Perreault was the least dangerous guy. It was a trailer coming up the middle. Nobody picked up. Great save by Zepp, but great wherewithal, too, by Perreault to go right back to the front of the net, recognizing the rebound may be there, and it was. 3-1 Winnipeg here.
7-game point streak now for Matthew Perreault. Signed with free agent contract by the Jets, 3-year deal, and he is delivering. Here's Kane trying to step in, and he's knocked off the play at the last moment. Now Kane jumping Grossman in front. The net's off his mooring. Zepp got bumped into. Kane not happy with the hit, but he got up and then went right after Grossman. See if peace prevails. We'll be back.
Je m'appelle Pierre-Edouard Bellemare.
I'm Mike Carafo. Just want to wish all the fans out there a very happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Welcome back here to Winnipeg. Very wintery Winnipeg. We're going to have a look here at Luke Schenn, who is the recipient of the Wells Fargo Great Check of the game. And he made this earlier here, and Mark Scheifele behind the net. Great job by Schenn. Good competitive flow down in the corner. He's been good in his own zone so far in this hockey game tonight. And that's all they want Luke Schenn to do right there. Finish your check, get the puck up. And he has done that very, very well the last few games. That is the Wells Fargo Great Check of the game.
Flyers win this defensive zone draw, and Coburn to move it ahead to Van de Velde. Spins away from a check, gets the puck to LeCavalier, and Vinny overskates. Checked along the boards, get knocked down. Van de Velde over there trying to help him out. Hardy over to play the puck, takes a hit from Bellemare. Continues to play with a lot of energy with the puck out to center. And a good job there by Nick Schultz to swat it away. Now the pass ahead to LeCavalier. He'll just chip it in, and Post was back to get it. Good read there by Schultz. That could have been a 2-on-1.
He has done that often. Makes the great decision, had that stick swinging, knew the puck was in the area, and managed to bat it away.
Chris Thorburn comes up with a loose puck and just pumps it into the Philadelphia zone. 7 minutes, 25 seconds remain in this second period. Flyers scored the first goal tonight. Have given up the last 3. Blitzham checked by Couturier. Hamburger gets to it and to the point, but it gets past Grossman down the ice. A race now. Here comes Kane. Out comes Zepp. And he plays it to the far side, but not out of the zone. Halischuk trying to get it down low. Streit intercepts that. Edmonds and Couturier will just flutter that one into the Winnipeg zone. Harrison for Klitzum. Missed some time because of injury this year. Another defenseman for the Jets who's been hobbled at times. Kane to the Philadelphia line. Looks it deeper, and now it's Luke Schenn. Schenn finding some ice room. His pass handled beautifully by Reed, but maybe not so beautifully. They're going to call it on the offside.
Looks like we might have an
penalty.
elbowing call here as well as the.
Is that Andrew Ladd? Evander Kane, I think, is going.
Number 9, Timmy Selwood.
Yeah, Evander Kane's going to get the elbowing call. He'd been looking for trouble, and he found it. And the Flyers have a chance to climb back into the game.
The question would be, why did play stop?
Offside.
They did call the offside. Okay, well, tomorrow, Michael Barkett. He will not be offside. We will be talking about the Flyers and Sixers. We'll also be joined by Jamal Jackson to hear his thoughts on the Eagles, the loss of the Redskins, and what's next for that club. Watch Philly Sports Talk, presented by Comcast Business, tomorrow night at 5 on Comcast Sportsnet. We had a look at the penalty, and a big chance here for the Flyers with a man advantage. Giroux across, Voracek to Streit. And now Streit the shot, blocked off by Ladd. Voracek trying to spin away from Little, but too many blue jerseys over there, and the puck is cleared. Streit reaching to try to keep it in, but it went off his stick to the neutral zone. There's your McDonald's power play payoff contested as Voracek swings back and then hits Schenn. The right wing dish now for Simmons. Simmons back across Giroux. Giroux to Voracek, the shot! It hit something in front, and the diving attempt by Braden Schenn was taken away by Byfuglien. Now Voracek for Simmons. To Giroux. Side of the net, Simmons spins it back out Streit, but he was on his backhand. He'll get it to Voracek. And now Giroux, 108 on the power play. Giroux directing traffic with one hand. Gets it to Schenn for the shot save. Rebound Simmons. That puck was loose, but they blow it dead. Puck was loose. Simmons jamming away. We could see it from our location, but the referee could not see it from where he was.
Outstanding puck movement, good traffic to the front of the net, a nice rotation. Braden Schenn ready to fire, and he does. Pavlik with the save, the puck still loose, and the Flyers unable to get there before the whistle blows as Pavlik makes a nice stop.
It's amazing how many times that play still works into that little gray area where Giroux had fed Hartnell for years. Now it's Braden Schenn. And you know, I think about it as defenseman trying to defend it. You know, you're just never positioned there the whole time, so that guy can go in and out of that spot, and that's what Schenn's done so well. Great little play.
Jets get to the puck here, and Frolik plenty of time to clear it all the way down. Second unit out for Philadelphia. 54 seconds on the power play. Donald ahead. Reed. Right wing LeCavalier banks it in. Gets in after it. It's played up by Harrison, and then Frolik finds it and drills it all the way down. So with a half minute left in the man advantage, the Flyers start up. Reed. Hands off to LeCavalier. Back for Reed. It got past him. And McDonald will have to go back and retrieve it in the Philadelphia zone. And take it all the way back. Wheeler nearly got that away from him. Now it's Lawton. Lawton to Belmar. Belmar up the left wing, trying to step around Klitzman. He's tackled, penalty. So the Flyers will go right back to the power play. First one it ended, but another man advantage for Philadelphia when we return.
Let's take a look at our Independence Blue Cross fearless play of the game. It's Claude Giroux who takes a stick up high from Chris Thorburn. Thorburn jumping on the ice there. The stick catches Claude Giroux, and the next shift, Giroux's on the ice. He shows no fear going through the middle of the ice and makes a highly skilled play with his feet, kicking that up to his stick, and gets an offensive opportunity at the other end.
Now be out there on a power play for the Flyers again as Lord Klitzman takes down.
Easy call there, yep.
Yeah, so the Flyers basically back-to-back power plays here, and get the first unit out to start this one after the TV timeout, and they win the draw. Here is Streit to Giroux, back to Streit. Now Voracek, they go around the horn, double screen is set up. Giroux, the shot, couldn't get it past Party. Now it's Streit. Cross ice Voracek. For Schenn, the redirection try blocked in front by Party as well. Giroux gets it back to Streit. Rifts the middle and then deals to Giroux. Right back to Streit. The shot redirection by Schenn goes wide. High in the air, and it's Ladd who's able to further it to center ice.
Two tip attempts for Brayden Schenn there. The first one blocked by a defender of the Winnipeg Jets. The second one goes wide.
Voracek to Giroux right up the middle. Off on the left wing, Schenn. Schenn takes a look and then spins it back to Streit. 1:10 on the power play. Giroux. Second in the NHL in power play points. That pass tipped away from Simmons. Voracek retrieves. Simmons checked, but there's Schenn. Good support. Turns with it. And then drops it off for Giroux. To Schenn. Wasn't quite ready to take the shot, and so he'll deal to Voracek. Right, Voracek. Getting off the wall with it. Settles at the hash mark. His cross ice pass. Deflected off Schenn. It goes out to center ice. Now the Flyers winding down here, and they turn it over in center ice. Here's Frolik cutting to the middle of the shot, deflected by Streit. Oh, big hit. Giroux take it in head first. He gets back up and seems to be okay. Here's Umberger. Umberger in across the line. McDonald charges to the net. Umberger holds, waits. His pass is all the way back to Brayden Schenn. His shot deflected by McDonald wide. Giroux has it back. His pass to Umberger. 15 seconds on the power play. Couturier holding on. Drops it off for McDonald. McDonald back to Couturier. Couturier waits. Continues to wait. Goes to LeCavalier. Now to Couturier right at the line. His shot in front deflected and dribbles wide. LeCavalier got it back out in front, but Kane is there. And he'll pop it down the ice, and that'll do it. The power play had ended. Couturier has to go back and get it. So the Flyers unable to take advantage of those two power plays. This remains a 3-1 game. And the puck played by a high stick. And so the whistle.
Dustin Byfuglien with another big hit in this game. It looked high to me. There's 33 in blue going after the captain, Claude Giroux, and there's the hit to the back of the head there.
Yeah, absolutely. You got. I mean, that's.
Referee looked the other way. Giroux somehow stays with it.
It's an elbow to the back of the head.
That's high sticking, boarding, elbowing. You
all wrapped into one big bundle. You're right.
Yeah, it's got to be something. And the puck was right there, you know, so it's not as though they could have missed that one.
It's a penalty Santa sack.
Now, Santa sacks are supposed to be full of joy. That wasn't so joyous for Claude Giroux, that's for sure. Apparently okay, though. He stayed out and got involved in the play at the other end.
Came right back up the ice. I mean, he's like he's angry about it, and he should have been.
And offside go the Jets at the Philadelphia line, although the fans here do not agree with that call.
Well, you kick your Flyers experience up a notch this January with your own suite for the night, including a private bathroom, wait service, and great catering options for 12 to 24 guests. Perfect for bachelor or bachelorette parties, birthdays, and more. Call 215-389-9500.
Dustin Byfuglien has been credited with 6 hits in this game, and most of them have been quite noticeable.
Yes.
That pass ahead for Matt Reed, dribbles in on Pavelec, and he will melt it down as Reed was coming his way.
The last one not noticeable enough from the referee.
No.
Yeah, I mean, they just called 2 in a row on Winnipeg, and you know, of course, guys, I always wonder how much did that come into the consideration of calling another penalty. There shouldn't be a rule that if you have 2 penalties, you can't have a third called. That was a penalty. There's an elbow on the Flyers' best player, and nothing's called on it. And it was a high hit.
Giroux's right back out there
Yeah,
with
he's
Lecavalier flanking him along with Voracek.
Remember, Raffle got dinged pretty good by Byfuglien in the first period.
Luke Schenn cuts that pass off, gets it to Voracek. His pass behind Giroux, has to reach back for it, gets it right back to Jake. Jake goes around Ladd, but in the zone already was Lecavalier. Offside.
Vinny quick to jump over the blue line there. He did not see that Voracek was winding up, and the offside call at the offensive blue line. Flyers have to regroup here in the neutral zone faceoff.
Craig Berube has talked about getting other players out with Giroux and Voracek. They do tend to make players better.
They do, and after a couple of power play opportunities in a row where the Flyers didn't pick up a goal, Craig Berube trying to get one here before the period ends.
Andrew Ladd forced by Luke Schenn. Turns with the puck and lobs one out, and Brian Little catches up to it and swings it into the Philadelphia zone. Zepp sets it up for Grossman. Grossman fighting off a check, got it ahead. Cavalier tried to go cross ice. It was knocked down by Wheeler and chopped back in. So we tick down to the final minute of this second period. Jets with the only goal here in the second. Flyers trying to change that here in the final minute. Gerard will send that into the Philadelphia zone. Grossman will try again. Right in on him quickly is Perreault. Ed Simmons had to reach for that. Got it to Lawton. Lawton goes across to Grossman. Ahead for Simmons. It was behind him. He turns with it, and he's bumped by Harrison as the puck goes to Party. Party turns it over to Simmons. Simmons turning with it and waiting. He's checked from behind, knocked down, gets back up, knocked into the boards again. Tries to stay with it, and it bounces into the middle. Here's Frolik. 3-on-2 developed for the Jets. Frolik to Scheifele. Scheifele off to Perreault. Back to Scheifele. Save! Zepp! Zepp got his skate on it. Or his pad. Somehow he kept it out. Frolik centering pass, bounces back out. Harrison dumps it down low. There's Schultz. He'll bank it ahead. Braden Schenn chops it. 9 seconds remaining in the period. Schultz moving up. He'll flutter that one to the left of Pavelec. Back to get it is Kane. And time will run out on this second period. Flyers within 2 thanks to a big stop late in the period by Rob Zepp.
There's great saves, and there's saves that give you a chance going into the third period, and this is both of those. Scheifele with the backhand attempt, and Zepp somehow gets his foot across and pad across and keeps the backhand attempt out of the net.
Tonight's Flyers-Jets second period was brought to you by Mazda. Mazda is KBB.com's lowest cost to own brand over 5 years. By the Pennsylvania Lottery, this Tuesday's Mega Millions jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $142 million. Pennsylvania Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. Players must be 18 years or older. Also brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. 3-1 Jets through 40 minutes of play in Winnipeg. Intermission live, straight ahead. John Borek and Bill Clement after this. Third period on the Comcast Network is brought to you by your Philadelphia Super Network Buick GMC dealer and by Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well. Let's look at the numbers through 2 periods, courtesy of the Rothman Institute at Jefferson.
Winnipeg 25 shots to 13. The hits 26 to 21. Flyers power play the key in that second period. They couldn't score on a couple late attempts, 0 for 3 in the game.
And the only goal of the period belonged to Matthew Perreault from Scheifele and Frolik at 11-20. Perreault adding on to his point streak, which is now at 7 games.
Let's take a look at our Timberland hard hits from the week. Braden Shen on Fleischmann. There's Belmar taking the hit from Phaneuf. Double whammy there. Ronaldo and Belmar, another double whammy. Giroux here knocks down Holzner. And Bufflin takes down Giroux there. That hit from behind. Giroux luckily bounced back up, and the captain has been extremely active, and the Flyers need him to come up with a huge third period here to come back against Winnipeg.
The captain certainly appears energized as we get set for this third stanza, and we are underway. Flyers down 2. And Scott Laughton muscles the puck into the Winnipeg zone. Knocks it off for Simmons. Simmons trying to change direction and get away from the checking. And got it in front to Shen, who turned one wide through the slot. Frolik back to it. Now hit by Simmons on Harrison. Will clicks him to the puck for Winnipeg, and he'll throw it through the neutral zone. There is Grossman ahead, not handled by Shen, and so Klitzum will send one in, but that goes off a stick and out of play. Gives us a chance to give you the answer to our Jeep trivia question. We asked earlier who scored those 76 goals. It was Nemo Solani at 130 some points, 132 points, which was also an NHL record for a rookie. He introduced himself to the NHL in fine fashion, didn't he?
You'll never see that again either, those kind of numbers.
Probably not. That was just before the trap became a major part of the equation. We have a little disturbance here as we're trying to get this face-off underway. Kane and Umberger. How many more goals than you, Jonesy, was that?
64.
We had 12.
Beat me out by 3 votes for the Rookie of the Year that year.
3 votes.
It's a 3-man.
There's only 3 men voting.
It was unanimous. There's a shot by Lowry that goes off a stick it all the way across. Flyers have it, trying to move it ahead, but Couturier moved the puck toward Reed. Reed was continuing on as if he thought Couturier was going to control the puck, and now the Jets have it back. Here's Kane. Andrew Kane from the red line winds it into the Philadelphia zone. Zepp stops it. Lays it off the glass all the way out toward Raffl, but getting there first is Wheeler. Blake Wheeler from the angle off the outside of the net. Kane shoved down. Wheeler had it chopped away momentarily, but he goes back and gets it. Turns it toward the net. That's broken up by Coburn. And then backhanded by Schultz ahead to Voracek. Threw it to the middle, but Lowry was there. Then Giroux almost came away with it. Finally, it's Bufflin. And he sent it all the way down. This will be icing against Winnipeg. 90 seconds into the period.
Down by a couple of these offensive zone face-offs can be a way to climb back in the game. Flyers need a big break here, and Greg Berube sends out his 4th line unit for this offensive draw. Giroux and Voracek at the end of a shift. Raffl also heads to the bench.
So it's Belmar and Lowry. Belmar won it to LeCavalier, who angles one into the glove of Pavelec, who had to be alert.
Right idea there. Traffic heading to the front of that. Vinny LeCavalier does a nice job of getting to the loose puck. Belmar leaning down. The winger LeCavalier gets to it. The quick shot off the skate of the defender goes right into the glove of Pavelec.
32 career goals for LeCavalier against this Winnipeg Jets team. Was played against them a lot when they were down in Atlanta, and he was in Tampa. Puck bouncing to Anthony Peluso. Deeper in his own zone. Quick shot tipped in front. Then they center it. Shot! Was it entered and hit off the post? The referee stops play as Van de Velde was in front. And the referee must have thought it was in because he blew the whistle. It either hit 2 posts or it was in.
Vinny doesn't seem to think it was in by the look on his face. He was looking back at the bench. That kind of told the story, so he knew that was awfully close here.
You see the crossbar and the post here. And the referee thought it hit the inside bar, but it does not.
You know what? It hit the glove of Pavlik first. Before it hit the crossbar and the post, Jonesy, it nicked off the top of the glove of Pavlik. Right there, and it goes up. That redirected it. It was actually Pavlik who made the save, and then you got the double bar, crossbar post.
Yeah, so that's a case where the puck ends up hitting the post, but there will be a save credited because Pavlik clearly kept that out of the net. Vandevelde going strong to the net.
2 plays off offensive face-off wins led to a couple of scoring chances.
The crossbar, roll across the goal, the crossbar down and out. No goal.
Something like that.
Yeah, we've been there.
Certainly. Quite recently, actually.
Tough break there for the Flyers.
Really is.
Yeah, it sure
They're
was.
Back within one. Vandevelde getting into the lineup, almost onto the score sheet.
Call it a game of inches, guys. That shows about the game of inches right there, off the tip of the glove. That's all it was.
And now the Jets win the draw. Postma up the boards. That's cut off. Belmar backhander. That hits Vandevelde in front again. This line really buzzing. Belmar gets it back to Luke Schenn. A shot deflected by Vandevelde, but it went to the corner. And Peluso just relieves pressure, clears it all the way down. Another icing, so the Flyers will keep that fourth line of the Jets out on the ice. And yes, not surprisingly right here, it'll be Claude Giroux's line jumping over for the Flyers.
He's had an interesting night. He's had energy. He picked up an assist just 46 seconds into the game on Voracek's goal. He's been hit a lot. He's been targeted. A little fluky play there where Thorburn caught him in the head. Making some moves through the neutral zone with that great skating ability and taking big contact from Byfuglien. He'll try to make the Jets pay here on the power play.
But even strike, but they're out against the fourth line, but the Jets are able to get the puck through center, and so they get their change. But here's Giroux with the puck in transition. Claude Giroux across the line. Swings wide to the left wing, goes back across, off straight, and then Grossman takes it out to center. Voracek has to wait. There's Mace to get onside, and then got it in, but right to Byfuglien. And Sherratt will take it back further, and then get it back to Big Buff. His outlet too far for Ladd. That'll be another icing, the third of the period already for the Jets.
Flyers doing a good job of putting pressure on the Winnipeg Jets here, giving up close and personal holiday gift with Jake Voracek autograph/photo combo tickets to the Flyers Wives Carnival. This VIP experience with one of the NHL's scoring leaders is available now at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com/carnival.
Lawton against Little on this draw. Just trying to get back within one. They only have 14 shots on goal. They try to win this draw. They do. Coburn in along for Simmons. Simmons marked by Sherratt. Nick Schultz in deep. Back for Simmons. Across for Coburn. Coburn's shot went wide. Looking for some kind of redirect there from Braden Schenn. Now Simmons again. Hard work on the wall. Cross ice pass, didn't have much on it. Jabbed out to the neutral zone. Nick Schultz will sweep it back to Winnipeg ice. Byfuglien across. Sherratt for a leak, and he is able to redirect it to the Philadelphia zone. Lawton is back to get to it. His pass ahead for Umberger, who turns back and gets to McDonald. McDonald's pass off a skate. And now Harrison ahead for Scheifele. He's checked. Flyers look to move in transition. Here's Reed. Reed to the line for Couturier, reaching for it. He's got it now. Turns it in front behind Umberger. Into the puck is McDonald with a shot, and that one off of Pavlik and out of play. Pavlik got the glove on that.
Let's take a look at our Hyundai save of the game. Nobody deserves a save of the game more than this man, Rob Zepp. First NHL start at age 33. Great one right here on Mark Scheifele. The pad out. You know, Jeff Reese, the goalie coach of the Flyers, said how polished he is. You know, and again, a guy who's been around the block. And that is the Hyundai save of the game. Good for him. He's done a very, very good job in this game tonight.
23 saves. He's kept his team in the game with some nice stops. That was the best of them. But saw a lot of shots early and able to weather the storm to some degree. Doesn't look out of place.
He does not. And the timing of that save was what's given the Flyers some hope here in the third period. That was late in the second. The Flyers have much more jump here in the second period.
33 years of age for Rob Zepp. Ross Brooks started a game back in 1972 for the Bruins Let's go all the way back to the early 70s for an older goalie, and then Rob Zepp to make his NHL debut. He's the oldest Flyer goalie to ever make his debut. He certainly paid his dues.
Neil Little was 30 when he made it.
That's right.
NHL debut.
Oh, turnover here by the Flyers. Lowry trying to get a backhand, and then the shot batted away as it squeezed out in front to Halischuk. Klitzum backhands it along for Lowry. Lowry for Kane side of the net. He couldn't come up with it. R.J. Umberger pass for Couturier, and now Reed will steer it in. Takes the hit from Klitzum. That was up high. Now Couturier in on Harrison. Couturier comes away with the puck. Couturier trying to get away from Wheeler, could not. I'm really impressed with the two-way play of Blake Wheeler. He is. He hustles at both ends of the ice.
Turning into a star player. And the Boston Bruins had him for a little while. And here in Winnipeg, he's found a home.
You're right, Jonesy. He's been a very, very important player for this franchise.
Here's Voracek cutting to the middle in the right wing dish to Giroux. Pivots and then backhands. Giroux watching as Voracek gets to it behind the net. Now Giroux will play it back to him. Raffl trying to get free in front. Voracek sent into the boards head first by Byfuglien. And the puck out to McDonald, and he could not keep it in. Byfuglien has been a major force in this game in so many ways. He's scored a goal, he's blocked a ton of shots, and certainly he's thrown his weight around.
And he's been on that fine line.
Oh, yeah.
A couple breaks here that he didn't get calls on.
Ladd into the middle, that's deflected, goes all the way across. Frolik will steer it behind the Philadelphia net. 5.5 minutes into this third period, Flyers still down 2. Raffl to Coburn. Now across for Nick Schultz, his pass. For Belmar trying to move up, but just too many blue jerseys to get around. Frolik will get it to Byfuglien. Byfuglien ahead for Perreault. And Perreault will sip that one through the Flyers checking, and he'll chase himself. He'll get to it, tip it, but Sprite gets it along the wall to a teammate. They move it up, and here's Vanderbilt with speed through center. Chris Vanderbilt swerves to the right wing, stops, and then gets it back. Nice play to Streit, fakes the shot, then takes it. Score! There was traffic in front, may have been deflected as Vinny Lecavalier was there. Vanderbilt with a great play to set it all up, and the Flyers are within 1. It's 3-2 as they score for a case of Tasty Cake.
This line's been outstanding throughout this game, and especially in the third period, and Craig Berube has went to him a lot. Not normally you'll see a coach go to his fourth line when down a couple of goals, but there's the traffic in front. Vinny Lecavalier celebrates like it hit him. Streit makes a great play in faking the shot. Keep an eye on 40 and white there. I think it caught him in the pants and goes in.
I think it did redirect, Jonesy. As it came across, it looks like it slid up to the outside. It was going to the middle of the net. It looks like it might have grazed off the pants of Vinny.
Belmar was there as well.
Yeah, there was a couple bodies. I thought it was Vinny initially.
So the Flyers within 1. Their fourth line gets them back in this game. Chris Vanderbilt with a great play to set it all up.
Used his speed and then stopped quickly and found the point man straight entering the zone. Great stuff.
Here's McDonald ahead. Braden Shen pushes it to the middle. McDonald gets it back and hoists it into the Winnipeg zone. Pavlik will stop it and play it to Klitzum. Ryan winds it around to Kane. Kane then the pop fly into the Philadelphia zone. Nick Schultz. Play it for Coburn. Uses that great skating ability to get to the puck. His cross-ice pass was tipped. Schultz couldn't come up with it. There's a pass, and it's Wheeler. Denied. It's Blake Wheeler cut it on goal, and that one stayed out. He gets it back. Shot away again. Zepp now trying to react. I'm not sure if that second one was batted away or whether it went high and wide.
The one save by Zepp, he got a piece of, and then it went off the pipe, and then a second chance right after that.
Here's Schultz. Plays it deep, so the Flyers still within 1. Zepp finding a way. Umberger and Couturier in the corner. Couturier trying to get some space, trying to get it back to Umberger, but it was tipped away. Wheeler starts back, had 2 glorious chances to put his team back up by 2 and couldn't bury it. As well as he plays, he's only scored 1 goal in 24 games against the Flyers, and the Flyers want to keep it that way. This is going to be icy against Philadelphia. Raffl could not tip that puck. So the face-off all the way back into the Philadelphia zone. The road trip continues Tuesday night. Great building, the XL Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. The Flyers and the Wild, their second and final meeting of the season. Our coverage begins with Flyers pregame live at 6:30 right here on the Comcast Network. Puck drop just after 7 o'clock. Off the draw, here's Waffle moving up. He's checked. And now Giroux. He's checked as well. Frolik to it. Frolik a shot, and that was off the stick wide. Voracek couldn't clear. Streit has it now. Streit moving up to Giroux. He'll bounce one into the right of Pavlik. Van de Velde after it. Gets to it. He's shoved off the puck. Tries to get it back. Got it to the circle. And now it's Bellemare. Bellemar's shot. That goes off a stick and wide. Van de Velde over after Frolik. And Frolik is able to pump it out of the zone. Streit's heading to the bench. Donald over to get the puck. 11.5 remaining third period. Flyers down 1. Bellemare sends one in off Pavlik. Van de Velde to the carom. Now for Bellemare. He's checked by Party. And now it's Lowry ahead for Halischuk. As he's going to the ice, he got it ahead for Kane. And Kane on a second try sends it deeper into the Philadelphia zone. Luke Schenn now for Lecavalier into the middle. Got Bellemare ahead, hoping for Raffl. Raffl couldn't quite catch up to it. Pavlik able to clear the zone. McDonald in some big traffic off the bench. Jumps Giroux. In across the line, Giroux. Giroux's shot blocked. Comes back to him. Another try. Save Pavlik. Behind the net, Party. Flyers have Giroux out there against that pair that they wanted to, but the Jets move it up ice and quickly. Byfuglien jumps over the boards with Sherratt. Here's Schultz. Across to Giroux. Sends it in and chases. Pavlik out of his net. Giroux gets there to swat at it. Wheeler's checked, but moves through the checking. Kept in though by Coburn. Sent one toward the net, and Byfuglien wrestles that out of harm's way and banks it all the way down. This will be... no, it will not be icing. And then the hit by Wheeler on Schultz. Ladd to the puck. Ladd to Sherratt. His shot ricocheted wide right through the blue paint. Now a little behind the net. Ladd after it. Coburn checks him. Braden Schenn will clear it up, and it gets out. Voracek wasn't expecting it to get out. And now moving out, here's Ladd. He's checked. Coburn banks it ahead, and he's got Lawton. Lawton, inside-outside move, but good job by Sherratt to stay with him. Lawton punishes him with the hit. And now it's Ladd throwing it in the middle. That's stolen. Wayne Simmons sent it wide of the net. It'll bounce out the other side to Grossman. Grossman is shot, and that hit Byfuglien. Got a ton of blocks in this game. Sherratt up the wall. Grossman kept it in. Lawton pokes it away from Sherratt and then battles with a couple of Jets. Knocked to the ice finally. A puck momentarily underneath him. And finally it's moved up and out of the zone. Lawton not feeling very well, I don't think, as he was limping a little bit. That puck all the way down for icing touch-up.
Cross-checked by Sherratt.
Hybrid icing.
Yeah, cross-check to Scott Lawton from behind. And that's why Lawton's in a lot of discomfort.
Let's take a look at our Toyota turning point of this hockey game. Right now it is a goal by Matthew Perreault on a rebound. That gave Winnipeg the 3-1 lead in this game. And it's held up to this point. Still plenty of time left for the Flyers to get this thing tied. They've gotten one. But right now that is the Toyota turning point of the game. Matthew Perreault with the third Winnipeg goal.
Timeout for the Winnipeg Jets here. They ice the puck once again here in the third period. It's been kind of the story of the third period as Winnipeg sitting back. They're on their heels and the Flyers have taken it to them. Dustin Byfuglien's had a major influence on this game for the Winnipeg Jets. Picked up a goal to get things going in the first period off the face-off win. Walked in untouched and buried that one to the blocker side of Zepp. Been physical against Couturier, and that one, Raffl there, he just cleaned out. Physical there on Voracek, and then the dirty hit to the back of Claude Giroux's head as well.
Winnipeg right now, as you're right though, they're back on their heels since the beginning of the period. The Flyers, give them credit right now. They are really playing hard. It's a tough back-to-back situation. Toronto out to Winnipeg in this game tonight. They've done a great job in the third.
You gotta look at that cross-check. Right in a bad spot. Lawton was struggling to the bench. Sherratt got him. Streit credit for that goal to the Flyers from Van de Velde and Lecavalier, making this a one-goal contest. Less than 9 minutes to play in the third. Here's Umberger. That one goes wide to the corner. McDonald around behind, and Umberger ended up deflecting it away from Couturier. Luke Schenn barrels in after it. Got it to Umberger, and he's unable to maneuver through as Harrison comes away with the puck. Head to Frolik. He'll wind it into the Philadelphia zone. Zepp could not cut it off. Schenn will turn it back around to the other side of the ice. McDonald up and out. Klitzum's right there playing his 200th National Hockey League game. And now play stopped away from the play. Something was spotted. We'll tell you about it when we come back.
There's 5'10" Nathan Perreault in the penalty, or Matthew Perreault in the penalty box there. And the big buff has not been seen doing anything bad. Perreault gets caught though. The little guy, they see, and he takes down Andrew McDonald. A bit of a sloop foot there. The referee was in perfect position to make the call, and the Flyers have a chance to tie it up here on the power play.
It was interference, I think. That's what they seem to be alluding to.
That's the call. Perreault has the goal, which is the difference in the game right now, but now he has to sit nervously for 2 minutes or less. As the Flyers power play held off the board thus far. It's a chance to tie this game. Here's Voracek to strike. And now Giroux. They're set up immediately. Simmons in his office right around the blue paint. Giroux to strike. Right back to Giroux. Giroux, the shot, it's deflected. Bounces to Simmons. Byfuglien right after him, knocked Simmons down, and now Brayden Schenn has his stick slashed out of his hand, but no call because it's Dustin Byfuglien.
It's amazing. Looked like he broke the stick. Brayden Schenn has to go get another one after the slash.
Here's Streit moving up. Byfuglien's there, and he'll clear it, and play stopped as it hit something on the Winnipeg bench. Brayden Schenn wants an explanation.
He does. Dustin Byfuglien continues to play on that edge. First he slashes the stick of Wayne Simmons and gets the puck, and there he hooks and whacks and breaks the shaft of the stick.
He broke his stick.
Brayden Schenn right in front of the referee. Dustin Byfuglien doing his best impression of the Invisible Man tonight.
Wow, it's hard for a guy.
That is,
I mean, this is
awful.
This is a big man. I don't know how they can miss all these.
And the guy's giving the Flyers their broken stick back.
6'5", 260.
It's like he had the evidence in his hand right here in front of me, guys. Showing him the stick.
That is usually an automatic call.
Yes.
Not that we like it all the time.
Another cross check to Brayden Schenn on the face-off from Dustin Byfuglien. The linesman saw it.
Brayden Schenn's obviously still upset about the slash.
The only no-brainer calls he can make, the ref, that he has to make, is the broken stick when you slash it in half. It's the easiest call he has.
Another huge hit as Byfuglien got Schenn. And the crowd loves that as the Jets clear it all the way down. And the Flyers fumble the puck away in their own zone. Almost as though they might be a little distracted here. Halfway through this huge chance on the power play. Kane moving up to the middle of the ice, stripped by Giroux. He's going to drop the puck back. And now Voracek sets his sights on the Winnipeg zone. Giroux will tuck it deep into Winnipeg ice. Voracek it after it. Kane a hit on Giroux away from the puck. Now Brayden Schenn gets the puck free, and Giroux is to it. Giroux in heavy traffic and somehow able to maintain some kind of possession. Needs some help there. Now Party with a backhand that goes off of Giroux. His stick ends up out of his hands and the puck out of the zone. Party ends up on the ice. Getting a little wild and crazy here in Winnipeg as Giroux sends the puck into the Winnipeg zone. Harrison drills it past Voracek and down. The power play down to 12 seconds.
Giroux didn't see Party. Party tripped on Giroux as he was trying to head to the bench, and Giroux was looking the other way.
Here's Lecavalier up the right wing with speed. To the backhand, save Pavlik. They'll hang on. Power play is over. And the face-off will be in the Winnipeg zone, but back to five-a-side hockey when we come back. And Chris Terry, thank you very much. Mr. Bourque, should be an interesting show. A lot to talk about in this game.
And a lot of discussion here with the fourth line unit out on the ice again for Craig Berube. They've been the best line in the third period, and Had one ring off the crossbar and post, and then picked up the only goal. It was given to Mark Streit with the traffic provided by Bellemare and Lecavalier, and the entry by Van de Velde.
Here is the draw. Bellemare and Lowry. Puck still in the circle. Bellemare got it to Lecavalier along the corner boards. He's pinned. Now Van de Velde. Leaned down by Klitzum. He powers through that, and Bellemare picks up the puck. He's taken in by Lowry. Hard work here, but good checking by the Jets, and they get the puck. Lowry ahead. Alice Chuck trying to get it to Kane. Broken up. Now he'll fling in. Zepp, a good job to stop that puck. 6 minutes remaining in regulation time. Pass ahead. Bellemare tips it. Lecavalier couldn't quite get there as Harrison sent it back toward Philadelphia ice. Now McDonald to Coburn. Feed for Couturier. And he'll chip it in as Umberger chases. Pavelec out. Got it to Postma, and that one ends up off the safety netting, but it hit the glass on the way out. Or a stick, either way, no penalty.
Well, finish up your holiday shopping with tickets to a Flyers game this winter as the team hits home ice 9 times in January, beginning with Ottawa on January the 6th. That's a 7 o'clock start. Shop online at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com.
Cavalier line off, and now here's a shot right off the draw as Umberger found the loose puck. Couturier winning that draw, but did not go. Now Umberger for Couturier. Into the line, forced wide by Post, but centers it in front. Reed was there, went off his skate to the corner. Umberger for Couturier. He's all wrapped up. Umberger trying to get it to the point. It does to Coburn. Quick shot. St. Pavelec. Rebound. Went back in on goal off a jet, but it stayed out as Pavelec was able to get his pad on it. Scheifele to center. Perreault is there. Twists it to Frolik with speed. Frolik all the way around behind. Looking to come out the other side. Does, but then fans on his pass. Sherratt couldn't get it past Reed, and Reed starts back toward the Winnipeg zone. Cross ice pass is tipped and then gathered by Byfuglien. The Flyers, the team that played last night, and had a long fight here, but they have taken the action toward the Jets here in the third.
They have, and they had a short bench last night after Ronaldo left. They rolled through and double shifted a bunch of different players. So far, they've rolled 4 lines in this game, and I think that's paid dividends.
Sherratt had it go over his stick, and Braden Shen was hoping to get a breakaway, but it was kept away from him. Now Grossman. Pass off of Lawton into the Winnipeg zone. Braden Shen and Klitzum come together. And now Wheeler's pass tipped. Ladd had to reach back. Now he's going to have to go over to get to it, and he'll just sweep it toward Philadelphia ice. And it's Lawton on it. Scott Lawton to the right wing dish to Simmons. Simmons will bounce one toward Pavelec. Byfuglien there. He gets past Lawton. And Byfuglien then shovels one out to the red line. McDonald puts it down there quickly ahead. Lawton, nice redirection in. He'll go off on a change. Raffl after the puck with Byfuglien. No fear from Raffl. Put himself in a position to get hit there. Now Giroux to Voracek for Raffl, and it was tipped away from him. Now Lowry checked by Raffl. Crowd wanted a penalty there. Here's Harrison sending it to the other side. Kane checked. Giroux to the puck. Giroux shot deflection. Save Pavelec. Great save there on a puck that changed direction on the way in. Giroux checked the puck to the high slot. Kane finds it and he'll send it all the way down. This will be icing again against Winnipeg. They have had a slew of them here in the third.
Giroux's shot went off the stick of Dustin Byfuglien. How nice would that have been? The guy that ran him from behind in the second period. Giroux fired it to the net, and Byfuglien gets his stick on the puck, and it just misses going in the corner. There's the stick of Byfuglien waving at it for no particular reason.
Great play by Luke Schenn coming down and preserving that play, taking Kane with him, allowing the puck to go back to Giroux.
3:18 remaining. Off the face-off for that fourth line. Lecavalier shot! He scores! Oh, how sweet does that feel for Vinny Lecavalier? He beats Pavelec from the slot off the face-off win, and the Flyers have tied this game at 3. Lecavalier scores for a case of Tasty Cake.
Van de Velde makes an unbelievable play. He jumps through on the face-off, and watch him dive for the puck there, scoops it back to Vinny Lecavalier, who buries it. Both players in and out of the lineup of late, and both players come up huge in the third period.
You're right, Jonesy. What a tremendous play by Van de Velde. I mean, that's effort. It's everything you want to see from your fourth line, and here they are, the heroes of the third period to this point. What a finish by Vinny, too. No doubt about that one.
His third of the year ends a 15-game goalless drought. This game is tied with just over 3 minutes remaining in the third. Umberger did not clear. Hardy after the puck. And he scrum forward along the wall. Perreault's in there. Coburn comes free. Scheifele trying to get his shot up. Bouncing puck toward the slot. Couturier and Reed after Frolik, but it's now Perreault. Right to center, intercepted by Reed, who backhands ahead to Couturier, who could not get it past Klitzen, but Reed does. And he got it to Umberger, who did not get the puck deep. Flyers still will try to execute the change. As Scheifele winds it in. Wheeler was after it. The Flyers kept it away from him. Now here's Sherrod at center. Just feathers one in. Wheeler was still in the zone. Here's Grossman to play it with some time. For Coburn. In the middle, Simmons, lots of ice. Off on the left wing, Schenn. Schenn, the shot, save, rebound out into the slot. Poked by Lawton, back to Grossman. Shot redirected wide by Simmons. Flyers continue to apply the pressure. Ladd was stopped by Stripe, but on a second try got it ahead a little. And now it's Wheeler, thumped by Lawton. Grossman to play the puck. We take below 2 minutes to play in the third. Cross ice pass here for Simmons, and now it's Lawton, and he'll shovel one deep. Time for a change. Klitzen back to get the puck for Winnipeg. Has a little trouble with it, but now finds Lowry. And he'll wind it in. Zepp got his stick on it, couldn't control it. Halischuk for Kane. Evander Kane dropping it back for Lowry, and now behind the net, Halischuk. Halischuk trying to get it in front. He was met by Schultz. Voracek scoops one out through center, but Klitzen is able to get to it at his own line. He's checked by Raffl, and Giroux hammers the puck in. Giroux after it with Harrison. Giroux to Voracek, back to Giroux. Right back to Voracek, all wrapped up. Gets away from Harrison. Voracek, the pass to Strite, the shot blocked. It sits there, and finally it's Kane getting to it and lifting it out of the zone. Grossman knocks it down, 1:04 on the clock. Voracek will push it in. The Flyers need another change. Byfuglien is back. Dustin Byfuglien with a pass for Scheifele. And now Perreault to Frolik. They're offside at the Philadelphia line.
Let's take a look at our power back rehabilitation comeback goal of the hockey game. Vinny Lecavalier delivers with a tremendous effort from Chris Vandenbalde, diving, swatting it on his backhand to Vinny. That is a power back rehabilitation comeback goal. Flyers down 3-1 at one point, have scored both and only 2 goals in the third to have knotted the game back up at 3. What a night.
Puck set in by Byfuglien. Wheeler knocked down, 43 seconds remaining. Goes back to the point, comes across to Sherrod. He's waiting for players to get in front. Gets around Umberger, tried to center, and Coburn knocked it down. Chance in transition for the Flyers, but they missed the pass as Couturier could not come up with it from Umberger. Umberger now pokes it deep into the Winnipeg zone. Flyers certainly want to get at least a point out of this one now as Sherrod moves it ahead. Ladd did deflect that, so no icing as Schultz goes back to play it. 15 seconds ahead for Couturier. He was checked by Frolik. Scheifele picks it up. His pass tipped by Couturier. They're onside. Scheifele with a shot off of Zepp, and then cleared by Schultz to the corner. And Couturier gets to the puck as the horn sounds, ending the third period. We will have overtime here at MTS Center, and the Flyers have at least 1 point out of this hockey game. We'll see if they can make it 2 after this. Jets game is brought to you by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buytoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens. And by Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far. Gutsy effort from the Flyers tonight, trailing 3-1 after 2. Against a team that had allowed a grand total of 20 third period goals, tied for the fewest in the NHL coming in. They get a couple, one of them from that guy, Vinny Lecavalier. He ties it off a great feed from Vandenbalde. But it's 3-3 after 60 minutes, each team with a point. One more will be given away here tonight. 5-minute 4-on-4 overtime is underway. Dustin Byfuglien checked by Giroux. Voracek walks in front and scores! He scores! Voracek wins it for the Flyers just 10 seconds into the overtime. Giroux takes the puck away from Byfuglien. Voracek the payoff, and the Flyers win the hockey game 4-3. Voracek scores for a case of tasty cake. Byfuglien the hero much of the night. Oh! Craig Berube and Byfuglien having words now. Chiefs still got it in him. He's still ready to go.
I don't think Byfuglien even wants a piece of that either.
But it's over. He goes from hero to goat in this one.
Byfuglien was invisible as far as being caught on penalties throughout the night. And he can't hide here as he turns the puck over. Great hustle by Giroux off the neutral zone face-off. Giroux never stops. And he gets in on the forecheck, pressures 33 in blue. That's Dustin Byfuglien. And the physical hit by Giroux, the turnover by Byfuglien, the wraparound attempt by Voracek. And Voracek, who started the scoring in this game, ends it here after the turnover by Byfuglien. Great stuff.
Giroux doesn't touch the puck, so probably won't get an assist, but I don't think he cares.
Not at all. And the fourth line came up huge in the third period, and the Superstars get together for the winner in overtime. Outstanding effort from the Flyers in this game.
Just tremendous. They score the final 3 goals of this game. And they get the win 4-3. So the Flyers, during the course of the year, you got to have certain games that really stand out. And this is one heck of a win.
Our Bud Light player of the game is Jake Voracek. 46 seconds into the game, he scored. And quickly into overtime, 10 seconds in, he buries it on the wraparound attempt after great hustle from Claude Giroux. And Voracek finds the 5-hole on Pavlik. And the Flyers skate out of here with 2 points in Winnipeg. There's the hustle by Giroux. And the spin move by Voracek that squeaks over the goal line.
Plenty of Mazda top shelf performers in this one. Jake Voracek probably on this panel, one would imagine.
Rob Zepp came up with a huge save late in the second period where Winnipeg could have gone up 3-1. Giroux has the big numbers, but the fourth line, who we don't see there, were instrumental in allowing the Flyers to come back in this one. Van de Velde, Belmar, and Vinny Lecavalier get the job done.
Third career overtime game winner for Voracek. He goes over 200 points as a Flyer. And the road trip continues on Tuesday night. Flyers are trying to make it 3 straight wins as they take on the Minnesota Wild. Our coverage begins with Flyers pregame live on the Comcast Network at 6:30. And an opening face-off just after 7 o'clock. What a come-from-behind effort by the Flyers here tonight as they get a huge win in Winnipeg and are now 2-0 on their trip. Thanks again to our technical crew today. Producer for Flyers Hockey is Brian Cooper. Associate producer is Beth Ely. Our director, Mike Mulligan. For Keith Jones and Chris Terry, and I'm Jim Jackson. Once again, the final score in overtime, the Flyers 4 and the Jets 3. Stay tuned for Flyers post-game live presented by Cure Auto Insurance.